It's time to awaken. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to the channel where we sit with life's deepest whispers together. Today, let's lean in close to that one question that's shadowed so many of us through the years. Perhaps as you watch the evening news, hold a loved one's hand through illness, or simply reflect on the quiet regrets of a life well lived. If there's a loving, all-powerful God out there, why does evil still walk this earth? I feel the weight of it with you. It's not some abstract puzzle from a dusty theology book. It rises raw from the heartbreaks we've all known. The soldier's letter never sent home, the doctor's solemn words in a sterile room, the injustice that steals a child's future while we stand by, helpless. Whether you were raised in a church pew singing hymns, or found your solace in silent mornings with a cup of tea in your thoughts, or somewhere beautifully in between, we've all turned our faces to the storm and wondered, why this? And how does it keep finding us? In our American lives, especially as we cross that threshold of 50 and beyond, these questions hit different. We've built careers, raised families, chased that promise of the good life our parents dreamed for us. And yet, here in the later chapters, we see the cracks more clearly, the losses that linger, the world that feels a little more frayed. Today, I want to walk with you through a gentle Buddhist lens on this, not to challenge what you hold sacred, but to offer a soft light, a way to see evil not as some cosmic permission slip, but as a quiet chain of moments we can learn to unwind. Because at our age, we don't need grand debates. We need paths to peace that fit right into the palm of our hand. Let's unfold this together, step by tender step. In the stories we've grown up with, from Sunday sermons to those late-night talks with friends, the ache often circles back to a God who could snap fingers and make it all right, but doesn't. Why the delay? Is it free will letting us wander into the dark? A forge to temper our spirits through fire? Or just the haze of a bigger picture we can't quite make out yet? These are comforts, yes, like a warm quilt on a cold night. But they leave us gazing upward, waiting for an answer from the stars. Buddhism, though, turns the gaze inward, not with judgment, but with a kind curiosity. It skips the, why does someone else allow this, and whispers instead, see how it blooms right here in the garden of our own thoughts. There's no architect above pulling strings, no divine decree signing off on the shadows. Evil isn't a stranger crashing the party. It's more like a weed that takes root in soil we didn't even notice was fertile. It starts small in the hush of misunderstanding and grows through the choices we make without a second glance. Picture it like this. Everything begins with a kind of forgetting. Not the sharp kind that steals names from our tongues as we age, but a softer fog, where we lose sight of how deeply we're all woven together. In that haze, our minds stir, spinning out habits and urges like threads from a loom. We act on them, not always knowing why. Maybe a sharp word to a spouse after a long day, or holding on to that grudge from a business deal gone sour decades ago. Those actions plant seeds in the quiet soil of awareness, shaping how we see the world around us. The faces, the voices, the touch of a hand that feels like home, or like a threat. From there, it deepens, what we take in through our eyes, ears, skin. It brushes against us, sparking sensations that ripple like stones in a pond. A kind smile warms us, a harsh glance stings. And in those feelings, whether sweet or bitter, a hunger awakens, not for food or shelter, but for more of the good, less of the bad. We reach for it, cling to it, like grasping a drifting leaf in a stream, afraid it'll slip away. That grasping builds worlds in our heads, dreams of what might be, fears of what could shatter. It pulls us forward into becoming, shaping our days, our relationships, even the legacy we leave for the grandkids. And then, inevitably, it circles back. New beginnings emerge from those old clingings, fresh starts that carry the echo of what came before. Life unfolds in its tender, messy way. The joy of a birth, the ache of watching time etch lines on beloved faces, the sorrow that follows like a faithful shadow. Decay creeps in, not as punishment, but as the natural turn of the wheel, the end of one breath leading to the gasp of the next. It's in this endless loop that harm takes shape, not because the universe wills it, but because we feed the turning, unaware. I've seen it in my own life, and maybe you have too. Think of that neighbor down the street, the one who retired with a nest egg but spends evenings stewing over old slights from the office. It started with a simple oversight, a promotion missed, a word unspoken, and snowballed into isolation, sharp edges in conversations that push folks away. Or recall a family gathering where one unresolved hurt from years back flares up, turning laughter into silence. These aren't thunderbolts from on high. They're the quiet harvest of seeds sown in forgetfulness, watered by unexamined wants. But here's the gentle truth Buddhism offers. This chain isn't iron. It's more like a necklace of pearls, each one linking to the next, but loose enough to be lifted, one by one. It thrives in the dark of not seeing, but fades in the light of a single honest look. Those three roots we all carry, the endless wanting that never fills us, the heat of anger that burns the hand holding it, the confusion that blurs the line between me and you, they're the soil where it grows. Yet, they're not villains. They're just visitors, passing through if we don't invite them to stay. And woven through it all is this impartial rhythm, like the steady tick of a grandfather clock in a quiet room. What we pour out comes echoing back, not in vengeance, but in the simple math of cause and ripple. You plant impatience in a hurried morning drive, and it returns in the strained dinner table talk that night. Sow kindness in a listening ear for a friend's quiet grief, and it blooms in unexpected warmth, a call from a distant relative, a stranger's nod of understanding. It's not a judge with a gavel, it's the garden knowing its own seasons. Some fruits ripen fast, sweet on the tongue. Others wait, buried deep, until the right rain calls them up, maybe 20 years later, when that old choice shows up as wisdom earned the hard way. In our later years, this feels especially true, doesn't it? We've got the vantage now, the long view from the hilltop. Those early impulses, the clingings that steered us through raising kids or climbing ladders, they echo still in the stories we tell ourselves at dusk. But we also hold the power to interrupt the spin. Not by wrestling shadows or waiting for a heavenly fix, but by pausing in the midst of the flow. Breathe into that rising irritation before it spills words you can't unsay. Let go of the if-only that chains you to yesterday, and watch how the next link softens. The Buddha, that wise teacher from so long ago, captured it in a line that still hums in my heart. Hatred never ceases through hatred. It ceases through love alone. It's not about conquering some outer foe. It's dissolving the knot from within, choosing in the heat of the moment to see the shared fragility in the one who hurt you. Imagine a woman I know, now in her 70s, who lost her savings to a bad investment born of desperate grasping. The bitterness could have poisoned her golden years. Instead, she sat with it, traced it back to that fog of fear, and turned it outward. Volunteering at a financial literacy class for seniors, her story a lantern for others. The chain broke, not with a snap, but with a quiet unclasping. So, if the old question tugs at you, why this permission for the dark? Buddhism meets it with a quieter one. What if there's no permission at all, just a flow we've been part of, and the hand to still it is our own? The power isn't handed down from afar, it's already humming in your chest. The choice to notice the fog before it thickens, to loosen the grip before it bruises, to step into each new dawn with eyes a little wider. Evil, you see, isn't a permanent guest. It's a visitor who overstays when we forget to show it the door. And in forgetting less, in seeing the threads that bind one moment to the next, we weave something finer, lives less tangled, hearts more open, a world that turns a degree kinder because we did. As we ease toward the close here, let's sit with this a moment. Breathe in the room around you, the familiar creak of your chair, the light slanting through the window. Ask yourself, soft as a prayer, what small forgetting am I carrying today? What grasp might I release just for now? What ripple of good could I send out, knowing it'll find its way back? That's where the shadows lift, not in a blaze from the heavens, but in the steady glow of one heart remembering. Thank you for walking this path with me today. Your presence makes it richer. If any of this stirred something in you, drop a note in the comments. I cherish hearing your stories, your own quiet unravelings. Like and subscribe if you'd like more of these heart-to-heart explorations. And until next time, may your days hold a little more light. Take good care.